A water pipe burst leaves a taxi trapped in a giant hole for hours in Chengsha. An award ceremony in Beijing conferring the highest state honor on 15 distinguished individuals. Good evening and thank you for joining us. All Mongkok-bound lanes of a section of Lai Chi Kok Road in Chengsha were closed to traffic for hours today after a water pipe burst in the early hours, leaving a mammoth hole on the road. A taxi got stuck in the hole and was later submerged in water. Luckily, its driver and the passenger managed to get out of the vehicle in time. The fast lane of the affected road was reopened to traffic at around 6 p.m. today. It's hoped that all lanes can be reopened before 6 a.m. on Monday. The Mosingai reports.
This is not a river, but Lai Chi Kok Road near the Chengsha police station in the early hours of Sunday. The flooding was caused by a burst underground water pipe. This taxi was passing by the area and got stuck in a giant hole formed in the middle of the road. The vehicle was tilted in the water before it was submerged. The driver and the passenger left the vehicle in time. The driver said when he noticed the flood, he tried to get his vehicle out of the area, but failed. I tried to switch to the fast lane, but a bus was passing by, so I couldn't do it, he said. Later in the morning, workers lifted up the taxi using a crane. Mud was all over the vehicle. The water supplies department said the burst pipe had a diameter of 750 millimeters. Repair works continued in the afternoon.
The water supplies department said the burst pipe had not affected the utility supply.
Yet the authorities will look into the cause of the incident with the Highways Department and the Drainage Services Department. The Water Supplies Department said the pipe was installed in the 1960s. The department said they have been repairing worn-out pipes since 2000, and so far some 3,000 kilometers of pipes have been handled. Aaron Bok, president of the Hong Kong Institution of Engineers, said water main burst can lead to road subsidence. He said authorities should improve their pipe inspection work. Mims 9, TVB News.
An award ceremony was held in Beijing this morning to confer the highest state honors on 15 distinguished individuals. This comes ahead of National Day as the country celebrates the 75th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. Zachary Ip reports from Beijing.
President Xi Jinping entered the Great Hall of the People along with the award recipients. Among the 15 awardees, 4 received the Medal of the Republic, including People's Liberation Army veteran Huang Zhongde, who participated in the 1949 Yangtze River crossing campaign against the Kuomintang forces and the Korean War. 10 individuals were presented the national honorary titles, including actress Tian Hua. Zhang Xianlin was honored for his outstanding contributions to sports, having led China to its first victories in men's and mixed doubles at the World Table Tennis Championships, as well as securing 10 consecutive women's team championships. The highest honor for foreign nationals, the Friendship Medal, was awarded to former Brazilian president and current president of the New Development Bank, Dilma Rousseff. This recognition acknowledges her contributions to the development of China-Brazil relations as well as cooperation within BRICS. In his speech, President Xi urged his fellow countrymen to learn from these heroes and heroines and integrate their personal aspiration into collective goals of the country, thereby forming a formidable force to build a strong China. She also reflected on the past 75 years and said the Chinese people will always remember international friends who have made significant contributions to China's development and the friendship between the people of China and others' countries. The national medals and national honorary titles are awarded every 5 years. The first ceremony was held in 2019, the 70th anniversary of the founding of People's Republic of China. 42 individuals were honored. Zakarib, TVB News, Beijing.
The U.S.-led international coalition formed a decade ago to combat Islamic State fighters in Iraq will cease to exist by September next year. The mission, however, will become a security partnership with the Baghdad government. A joint statement issued by the U.S. and Iraqi government said the nations are creating bilateral partnerships that support Iraqi forces and maintain pressure on ISIS. A U.S. official underlined that this is not a withdrawal but a transition. It is not known how many of the 2,500 U.S. troops will remain in Iraq. Meanwhile, a coalition in Syria with 900 U.S. military personnel tackling the perceived threat of ISIS stays in place until at least September 2026. In the U.S., the death toll from powerful Hurricane Helene has risen to 64. The storm ripped through the southeastern states with heavy rain and winds of up to 225 kilometers per hour, causing widespread destruction. Millions were left without power supply and many were stranded without shelter awaiting rescue, as a cleanup got underway on Saturday. Tracy Furness reports.
This is what is left of Horseshoe Beach in northern Florida. Homes and businesses completely destroyed after Hurricane Helene ripped through the community. Residents helped to clear up the debris. Many question whether it was worth weathering the storm as they saw their town torn to pieces.
When the water got coming in our house, I had my truck parked back, and I knew the highest point in this town where it's at, and me and my wife drove around there, and we just sat in the truck and watched everything go on there. You know, we watched our town get torn to pieces.
Fallen trees and debris were all that was left of the business area of Big Bend, Florida.
I was smart enough, I left town because they said mandatory, and had water in my house, but I didn't lose nothing. And I mean, of course, some appliances and stuff inside I've lost, but other than that, and that's stuff you can always replace, you know. It's lives we can't replace.
You saw a storm surge in excess of 15 feet. So that is much, much more significant than what we've seen in recent storms like Idalia that hit, and certainly Debbie. And that is really, really destructive. So as you look around here, you see some homes that are now just rubble.
Tennessee Governor Bill Lee and other state and federal officials toured East Tennessee by helicopter on Saturday. They saw homes and buildings destroyed or underwater, bridges and roadways crumbled, and water being released from a dam to relieve the reservoir. Helene was the 8th named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season this year. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has predicted an above-average season this year because of record warm ocean temperatures. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
And still ahead, Foreign Minister Wang Yi voices against Western interference in Asia at the UN General Assembly. In Japan, thousands bid farewell to a panda couple at a Tokyo zoo. And a 20-year-old man arrested on suspicion of indecent assault on 8 female students on the street. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made a combative speech at the UN General Assembly in which he warned the West of the dangers of trying to secure a victory against a nuclear power. Moscow's top diplomat rubbished Ukraine's ceasefire proposal and its backers, calling the plan senseless. He said Kyiv's push for all Russian forces to leave Ukraine is doomed and told the Assembly the UN Charter asks nations to respect equality. Lavrov criticized the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah and U.S. support for Israel while praising Iran for being extremely responsible. In Japan, thousands of tearful fans bid farewell to their beloved panda couple that made their final appearance at Tokyo's Ueno Zoo on Saturday before returning to China for medical treatment. More than 2,000 visitors queued for hours and some overnight to get a last chance to see their favorite panda couple, Ruru and Shinshin. The pandas, both 19 years old, arrived at Ueno Zoo in 2011. Although their lease is good through 2026, Japan and China agreed to their return home as the aging couple need treatment for high blood pressure. The pandas gave birth to Xiang, who returned home last year. China maintains ownership and over any cubs they produce. Pandas are native to southwestern China. Meanwhile, Ocean Park has released the latest footage of the twin cubs of giant panda Ying. The elder sister of the twin cubs could be seen yawning by her mother. A contagious yawn indeed, as Ying yawned right after. Ocean Park also released the weight of the panda cubs. The elder sister weighs more than 1.6 kilograms, 0.2 kilograms heavier than her younger brother. A 20-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of indecent assault. He allegedly bear-hugged at least 8 female students in Sham Shui Po. 2 female students aged 14 and 16 reported a case to the police last week that a man hugged them from the side and from behind respectively while they were heading to school in the morning. He allegedly touched their chest as well. Police said they combed through surveillance footage and found the same suspect assaulted at least 6 other schoolgirls in uniform. After investigations, a 20-year-old local man was arrested on Saturday in a flat on Phuc Hua Street. Police also seized the clothes the suspect wore when allegedly committing the acts. Authorities urge anyone who witnessed the incidents or was assaulted to reach out to the force. Executive Director of the Travel Industry Council of Hong Kong, Fanny Yeung, said the number of mainland tourists visiting the city in the next 2 years will remain below the pre-pandemic period. Mainlanders will have a week-long holiday for National Day. Speaking on TVB program, Fanny Yeung said roughly 1.2 million mainlanders will travel to the city. Yeung expects the number of tourists remain below the pre-pandemic period in the coming 2 years. She said the downturn of the global economy is a contributing factor. Yeung hopes the government can lift up requirements for people who wish to obtain a tour guide license. Meanwhile, some travel agencies introduced National Day boat ride packages for people to watch the fireworks display, but they haven't received many bookings. A massive dance event was held at West Kowloon Cultural District today. The event is to celebrate the 75th National Day. It broke the record for the largest number of participants in a dance performance online and offline. More than 1,000 dancers took part, some at the West Kowloon Cultural District, including students and members from the Kowloon Women's Organizations Federation. The dancers performed an adapted version of a Chinese song to promote Chinese culture. And Hong Kong today saw another new world record set. That's for the highest number of people to be relieved on the same day with foot spa, verified by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Organizer Lions Club of Silver Strand hopes the world record will help promote the habit of taking a foot spa, which has been proven by medical literature to be beneficial to health, especially among the elderly. That's by soaking your feet and ankles in warm water of about 40 degrees Celsius for 10 to 15 minutes. Today's event was divided into 4 sessions. Each session had about 150 people taking a foot spa, adding up to a total of 596 participants. Attendees of the event can take the basin they used back home. And the organizer hopes they will also take home a lifelong habit of taking the warm foot soak as part of their healthy lifestyle. And that's the news. Thank you for watching.